Hello to everybody that's not in the room yet. I'm going live early for personal reasons. Sit here and drink coffee and chat to y'all about some stuff. Very hot coffee. See if anybody shows up. How is everybody's week going since it's just Monday? And there's still a lot of room for improvement if y'all are having trouble or whatever. Don't freak out. I'll turn the camera off. The stream is fine. Hey, Mark, Carol. I'll turn the camera back on in a second. Thought I had everything ready to start, and then noticed that I didn't. So y'all can listen to the sound of my wonderfully scratchy voice while I do stuff off camera for a second. How's the weather in the Panhandle? Up there, Carol. How's life in the... Are you in the Smokies? I can't... Where's the... You got the... No, the Smokies are north of y'all. Are y'all... Where the Appalachians at? You got the Smokies and the Appalachians. I know where the Davies and the Ozarks are. And the Rockies. Those are... I know where the Guadalupes are too. But I'm not... I should know more about where like the Smoky Mountains and the Appalachia and all that is. A little windy. It's a little windy. It's Texas. It's always going to be a little windy, isn't it? All right, maybe that's just me. But I've always had an aversion. I grew up on the Cap, and I think the wind's bad down here off the Cap where I live now. Up there on the Cap where Rob is, it's just no... You can't escape it. It's like this is like a demon sitting there waiting to suck the joy out of your world. I mean, it's either not windy enough to fly a kite or too windy to fly a kite. It's either too hot to go fishing or too windy to go fishing. Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera back on. Y'all close your eyes. Here I am. Anybody watching the news yet or seen anything interesting on the news? Should be able to figure out where I'm going with the title on here. Only got... Yeah, that's what I thought. The Smokies are in they're further north, right? I'm gonna get educated on that. And you got the Blue Ridge. They got mountains in Pennsylvania too. I don't know what those are. Pennsylvania is really pretty country. part once you get away from the cities. Wisconsin actually has some nice country. Anyway, make it YouTube safe. Well, I don't guess it matters. That's what I've been working on today. One of the things. Just go a diaper on it. It's far from finished, but a little holster. This will work for either mine or my wife's 22. Well, her 22 or my 17. I made the one for the 17 first, so I'd see what I was doing wrong before I made the one for the other. I think I'm going to put the next one. I think I'm going to put a leather between where the stitches go. It makes it harder to sew with that leather in there, but it gives it a stiff spot, and it allows the back of the holster to be less formed. I think it will. I think on the one for the Security 6, I'm going to actually take and staple the leather to the board and then get the part wet that I want to form and roll it over, because I want the side that's going towards me, I want it to stay flat if at all possible. Because it's going to be that one up there will be either it'll be for cross draw or for hip carry, either one, if I can figure out how to do that. It's easy if you're running clips, but I'm not running a clip on my belt. It's going to be I may actually that one there, I may give it its own belt, just because I think I can. I was messing with that while I was listening to news and reading and stuff. Cool. But apparently, big chunk of downtown Beirut's missing. And first report I saw said 10, then it was 25, then like moments later it jumped to 50. And then they just said that they stopped counting, and they said the death toll is expected to continue to rise. And the last number I saw on injured was 2,750 people, which was an estimate. Because apparently it thrashed buildings, I mean, literally tore them to shreds 1.5 miles from point zero. So they don't know where all the dead people are. Firefighters that were on scene for the original blaze disappeared. So I doubt if they find those guys. Me personally, I'm having trouble figuring out why any of the things they're saying it could be, why you would have that stuff Why would you keep that stuff around? That's just me being curious. Was it 27,000 tons? 20, 27,000 tons? 27,000 tons of explosive material stored in one place. Hey, Lance's mama and Lance. Yeah, it was a big one. I mean, the last video, Harshman Hills just shared a video. I hadn't seen that one yet. The people are looking at the smoke. Guys driving, filming it out the side window, and the next thing you know, the shockwave hits his car. I mean, you can see the explosion, and boom. You see the explosion, boom, shockwave hits his car. That's how fast it moved, and it threw his car off the road. Busted all the windows out on the vehicle, set off all the airbags, ripped the rearview mirror off the car, the inside of the car. Equivalent to 3 kilotons of TNT. That's it. Thanks. What the news said. That was it Little Boy? I watched all the videos in slow motion, and I couldn't spot any trails coming in. So the fire, unlike the fertilizer explosion we had in West Texas, there was no fire trail coming into the point of the explosion. That place made the stuff that blew up over there in Beirut, the place in West. And to this day, I believe that West Texas fertilizer plant was eliminated. And that scares me for Ballinger, because they have the same plant, and it's new. I mean, when West went, this place was able to take on the slack, and they just expanded. And it's not out in the middle of nowhere. This one's, if it goes, the town goes. Oh, sorry, Jason. I guess we shall refer Jason, who shall from now on be referred to as Lance's dad. How's that? In case y'all are wondering, y'all's existence rotates around Lance now. And he's my favorite one of your family, so just deal with it. I am jealous of his hair. Mine was snowy white, but I used to have hair like that. It came all the way down to here. I was noticing this camera picks it up as blonde, so I'll just deal with it. But there's some streaks running through that hair nowadays. Anyway, what do y'all think? Y'all think an accident? It's just so convenient that it's in the one port that brings all the food into the country. And if it was an accident, Damn it, that was just stupid. So, why is he going to college? Hey, didn't see you sneak in. We were talking to Rachel about her talking child abuse to the little boy. Our boys got their first haircut at 1, and then they did not get their next haircut until they started school. Good evening, Walter. And this is like supposed to be Bible study, but Mrs. West isn't here with us because she's got stuff, and she will be having stuff for a while. So I've got to do my live stream, Bible studies, whatever I'm going to do. I'll be doing those earlier rather than later. Well, see, you should, since baldness is genetic, you should let Lance enjoy his hair, and the rest of the world enjoys hair. I mean, that hair could very well be picked up by some studio somewhere, and he could become like the next child star just because of those beautiful golden curls. I'd leave him alone. I mean, that little boy radiates so much cute, it ain't even funny. All he's got to do is kick sand and let the wind blow through his hair, and he's already won the internet. I wish I was that cute. I'd actually be doing some good on YouTube. Hey, Robert Moore. Yeah. Dude, you ever get to finish that food? So, yeah, I'm on a chat with y'all for about another hour. And then I could get off and have supper ready for my wife when she gets here. I already got it laid out. I just got to cook it. What about you, Aid? What do you think's going on? You're pretty smart. I'm going to find some of my old pictures. I had a scanner. My scanner quit. I'll scan some of them, put them on there. I used to be quite the handsome young fella. Yeah, it's too early. Could just be that the warehouse that the fire got started in was running short-handed because of the international shutdown. Nah, Israel said they didn't have nothing to do with it. I mean, anything's possible. But politically and strategically, economically, a whole bunch of other leads, Israel doing something like that is just a bad move, and Israel doesn't make bad moves. I mean, I would not ever play chess with Israel. It just does that. That's going to be a hard sell for me. I mean, you can say a lot of things about Jewish people, but that they're slow on the uptick, that's not one of them. Oh, yeah, the smoke on the water, fire in the sky. That was a big bang. The first time I saw and they've already pulled that explosion down. The one video that shows it clear as day, um, it had, I don't know, 5 or 10 seconds of the smoke, and then the only videos I can find now are the ones where you can see it exploding behind that those silos. This one was off center to that, and you could see the ignition point, and the mushroom cloud and everything. uh, it was a little further away, but it was a high def video, and now I can't find the freaking high def video. Yeah. See, you never know. I mean, there's everybody over there wants everybody else dead. Uh, you got, I don't know. There's the Sunni, the Shiite. What's that other one? The actual Muslims that are cool. Uh, they, the ones that do the whole Torah, not just the part that suits them, or not Torah, the Quran. Anyway, there's there's a lot of different sects. There's just a few major ones, but uh, I used to know a lot more about Islam when my kids were younger because I thought it was a real threat, or I knew it was a real threat, and I tried to teach my kids. But then the internet came along and smartphones, and I completely lost control of what my kids heard and were taught about other people's. So, I was able to keep smartphones out of their hands until they were in their late teens, but that wasn't long enough, I don't think. Okay, I'll go check that out. But there's about half the videos over there I don't get to watch because I'm just a lowly Viking, man. Uh, I'm not a Joral or whatever. So if all my patrons, I treat them all the same. I text my high end patrons, but that's about it. If I get my son to cut me some slack, I may get all my the patrons that have been around for a really, really long time. I need to get y'all some hats or something. I think hats would be better than t-shirts. But that one of the guy videoing it out his window, I've done videos like that, so I know he was a mile away at least, and from the point of explosion or ignition, whatever you want to call it. So a mile away, it was able to knock a 3,000-pound car into the lane barrier and rip it to shreds. that's a big boom. So Rob, it's always, hey, let's go work on the fertilizer plant. I'm like, no, I don't want to go there. You should design you a logo. Hey, and I'll get you my son's contact info, and you can get him to make all your stuff for you. My red, white, and blue West S sticker, I think I'm gonna hold on to that one. I thought about changing it. It just seems cool to me. But I was thinking about getting some of the no step on snake hats or something. I didn't see the guy in the boat yet. But it's just, from a biblical standpoint, if anybody's waiting for anything else to show up before they think it's time to get serious, well, do not know what to tell you. It's as end times as, I mean, it's we're more end timesy than the dark ages right now. We're more end times than Nazi Germany with the concentration camps and stuff, man. Cool. I did the Texas, the drum logo. I did that. It took me forever to draw that out. I'm thinking about taking the unicorn skull and the Texas thing and making that a logo. The one that's on this channel. Because I can do that because it's this channel. Seems like every time I think we might have a little bit of breathing room, I've got stuff all over my desk from working on that holster. Did you get to see the holster, Aid, or did you come in too late? And see, I took Twitter off my phone because I wouldn't get the notifications. So you got to go in, and you got to go in and open it, and then blah blah blah. And I've got maybe I should try to find something to keep my brain busy and not focus so much on other things. But okay, this is for Aid. I know everybody else already saw it. Well, if you didn't already see it, this is what I was working on while I was watching the news. It's not finished yet, but it's for my little single action revolver. It's really light without the gun in it. It's not finished yet. I'll do some. I can't make up my mind whether I want to cut the trigger out, like if I was a real cowboy. But we'll check see if I was a real cowboy, the trigger would stay covered, because that's the last thing you want to do, to be able to knock your hammer up and hit the trigger at the same time. Then you got a bullet in your leg. But I'll probably I forgot to get stain. I got to get me some stain. Either that or I'll camo it. I'm thinking about doing. There's a deal where you take and excuse me. Get really hot water. You can boil it, but you don't have to boil it. But you get the really hot water. You stick it down in there and you count to like 20 seconds or whatever. Make sure it's soaked. Pull it out and then put the whatever you want it to form to in there. And it actually stiffens it up. But if you do it wrong, it makes it brittle. So I don't know if I want to try that or not. It's a lot of work. I got about 2 hours in that already. A lot of work to throw away on some little 5-minute step. There's a leather kit on Amazon that I really want, but I can't justify. I mean, it's like $75. It's got all kinds of cool stuff in it. It's got the little rollers for your, being able to mark your stitching and stuff. It's got little different shapes, different stamps. It's got rivet sets and all kinds of different patterns for like doing tooling and stuff. But it's got the hole punches, and it's got different stitching needles and all that. But I actually want to get some heavy canvas and try to make me a haversack. And thank y'all. I hope it turns out. I actually bought leather for these. I usually just buy the remnant packs or whatever. This is the first time I've actually purchased raw, whatever that's called, leather to work with. It's not bad for a finishing nail and kitchen knife. I don't seriously before I used to poke holes. Used a finishing nail to push the holes for the stitches, and use this knife to cut the leather. Then my scissors are way over there. I don't want to go get them. Besides, that's really thick leather. Thinking about shaving my beard. Not shaving it, trimming it. Things got hair on my chin's 4 inches long. Got a big face. Anybody got anything they want to talk about? Any interesting stuff going on out there that I don't know about? Or anything out there that I want to know about? I mean, I'm going to jump over here and check the check the wire real quick. See if there's any updates on what we're talking about here. I'm going to do a video later. Maybe if I don't get lazy and forget about it. Stop. Trump's calling it a bomb of some kind. UN peacekeepers damaged. It's just weird it happened so close to where that other thing those guys were going to go to court for happened. Yeah, if somebody knew what was going on, they're like, man, if we can just get this building to burn, it'll set that other one on fire. You know, it's my problem is whenever I look at stuff like that, I think, well, hey, how hard would it be for you to figure that out? I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, sharpest pencil in the desk, but I don't buy into the international terrorism thing very much, because the stuff that they do and the stuff that they could do are so far apart. It's whenever there is something like that happens, it always seems like there's too many different things that it could cause that aren't going to further anybody's cause. You know, it's not going to save anybody any trouble or anything like that. It's just going to cause people more trouble. So I find it's really hard for me to believe that these individuals, however fanatical they are willing to spend all that time and energy and money, and you know, when they know they're either going to die or go to prison for forever, how they'll for something that, you know, a guy like me could set up in a week. But something that a guy like me would never set up, because it's not going to do me or mine or my cause or anything any good. It just doesn't make any sense. So, let's go. But you never know, do you? You just don't never know. Artificial sinew. You can do 4 or 6 strands of this. I think it's 6 strands of this, and do that reverse weave thing or whatever, and it'll make a pretty decent bow string. case anybody wondered. Okay, C103, hurry back. Miss you already. He's already gone. Nobody told me he was leaving. See y'all. Y'all should tell me things like this. Hey, I'm fixing to load up a bunch of that junk you keep eyeballing in my videos and haul it to the scrapyard. Don't be mad at me. I'm starting to clean my property up. Last storm to come through blew stuff all over the place. And I was telling them I got my stuff clean. It took me forever to find a spot to shoot a video earlier today. Because they're just, every time I'd look up at, well, that doesn't belong there. That doesn't belong there. I mean, it just come through and there's just pieces of stuff out of the scrap pile all over the place. And the thing about that stuff that was ammonia nitrate, if it was stored in tankers or a silo or any place where it could be deprived of oxygen yet subjected to heat, then all of a sudden a backdraft gets to it and supplies it with the fuel and oxygen it needs to go. But that stuff has, I mean, it's just the oxidizer. Well, would have taken, because smoke is carbon. That the dark gray smoke or whatever was carbon. So when the gases from the one stuff got to a point where it mixed with the smoke enough for it to go, then it could have gone. And if the stuff stored was already boiling, but it went so fast, it was like, I mean, it was like boom. It wasn't a boom. It was a boom. So, but then again, we're never going to know the rest of the story. We'll hear what they want us to hear, know what they want us to know, and that's going to be it. Now, I don't think Beirut was as tore up as they led us to believe. Parts of it were. But most of that happened downtown and stuff. Or not downtown, on the outskirts and edges and stuff. They were able to, I think, pretty much keep their port area intact. Syria, on the other hand, Syria is all tore up. And I'm still not 100% sure that those chemical bombs that the Syrian government got blamed for, I'm not 100% sure. Well, I'm not even 50% sure that the blame for those chemical attacks belong to the Syrian government. The whole thing in Syria doesn't make any sense. Hey, Tim. It never did make any sense. I mean, when you got the whole world watching, and the one thing that you promised you would never do, why would you risk doing it? Because then you know, I mean, especially when you know that you got all these big powerhouses out there just looking for an excuse to do something to you. But the other guys can steal some of your chemical, put it in one of their missiles, blow up 15 or 20 of their own people, which they don't really like anyway because they're Shiites and they're Sunni. So, um, and then the next thing you know, your real enemy gets blamed for it, and the United States government comes in and actually helps you defeat your real enemy, even though you killed your own people. That's kind of the way they do things. It's not going to get any better, people. So, double your pantry. I mean, that's all the advice I can give you. Double your pantry. Praise God, because it's been raining at my house and my water catchment is working very well. I need to get another tank like that and put it on the front. And figure out some way to keep folks off of it. We all about the most not talkative bunch of chatters I've ever had in live stream. And this is me supposed to be like reading the chat and having a discussion with you folks, but y'all ain't talking. Guess y'all all went off to watch the videos or something. Got a sunburn the other day, kissing my cares. It's really annoying. Got my forehead, got my neck, my shoulders, and my belly. Because I felt the sunburn starting on my shoulders, so I put my shirt on, but didn't button it up. Didn't pay attention to the fact that the sun made it past the deal, and I was facing it the whole time I was fishing. So I couldn't get chest on my belly. It's going to be a weird tan line. Needed vitamin D, though. You know what you get? Vitamin D from sunshine. Pretty sure that's what you get. What? Don't make me stop you doing dishes. Did it do a bunch of damage, or was it mostly just rain? I know there was some tornadoes and stuff spawned up there, but that's all the headline said. I didn't read it. Wasn't talking about dead people or property damage or anything. I watched a little tornado Sunday. 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 It was on the backside of a. It was just a little one. Biz on the backside of a little thunderstorm that popped up. It was out in the middle of Cottonville. Wasn't doing anything. So I'll say that the guy that owns Cottonville is probably like, dang it, because you know it, even that little bitty. Because we get tornadoes that are huge, and then we get basically these little wiry things that come down, and they may only be 50 or 100 yards across at the bottom, and they'll dance around for 5 or 10 minutes, and they go back up in the clouds. We get a lot of those. If they get close to something, they'll tear it up. I watched one of those set down in a cotton compress one time. And it set down on because it's big. They put, there's room for, between the warehouses, for a truck to park and be loaded by the forklifts on both sides, and then trucks to drive down through the middle, so they didn't have to wait or whatever. It's a big wide area, but that tornado got down in between there. It's probably, I don't know, because I'm trying to give y'all too much image. There's big distances between the warehouses. Set down between them, and it went down and it just peeled the ends off the. It's funny because it peeled the end this way off of the ones on this side, and it peeled the metal the other way on the other ones. The one side, it just rolled them up into big chunks, pretty much, and laid them down. On the back side, it was ripping them off and throwing them off the sheet at the time. I was only about a half a mile away from that, watching it happen. It was a little scary, but then I watched the little tornado go. I'm like, it was still spinning. Then it tore up a bunch of trees and stuff. I grew up with tornadoes. I respect them. I try not to let them run my life. I do have a big hole in the backyard. It was annoying me. Well, if nobody's got anything to add to the conversation, I shall let this stream go. I just wanted to. I left y'all hanging Saturday night. My daughter, I was yakking to her on the phone, and we got started talking about fishing. And, well, then we were fishing. So that's how I got Sunday. We got to the river at. I got there about 6:30. She got there about 8. And we fished all night and then all day. Took a little kayak canoe ride up the river. Came back and had fried alligator gar for breakfast this morning. It's really good. No video, I just chopped it up into little cubes and seasoned it, and then rolled it around in some flour and threw it in some grease and ate it with toast and an egg. It's really good. I've got enough I can like do it on. I'll do a video on it, but I'll do it outside. It's like silly. It's silly easy to do. I may make my own flour though for it just because I can. Hey, the glue I've been using for the leather is just that liquid nails in a tube. It holds everything together until you can get it stitched. It doesn't really last. Pass out. Well, it works better on this leather. It doesn't work real good on the stuff that's treated on the top. But, well, guys, that's it. I'm not gonna sit here and just run my head about nothing. I do want to go live Friday. Aid, if you think you can get free for it. All right, Walter. Oh, you got your boat? That's just so cool that you have a boat. I'm big and let everybody go. But like I say, Friday, I want to do a live stream Friday, but I want to have a panel. So I don't know what that is, but I need to get hold of Steve at Corsair, see if I can get him on here. So we'll probably try to do it. If we can do it early, like I did today, if we can do it around 6, see if that works for him, because that puts him at I think he's 2 hours ahead of me, maybe, or something, or behind me. So I'll have to get with him and find out. Where's Killdeer? Oh, there you go. Hey, Killdeer. Gary, just in time for us to say bye to each other. I really do. I got to get all. I got to have supper ready at 8. So it's not gonna take that long, but I don't want it to be late. And we'll have a topic to discuss. I'll have some. We'll get with some moderators, and we may get a stream moderator, somebody that joins us on StreamYard, but that can just talk to us in the private chat or whatever. That way they can, if there's any questions or anything in the side chat or whatever, they can bring them up. And because I think it's time for us to get back to trying to, anybody that stumbles into these things, we need to be helping them get ready. The end is nah. We need to get this stuff. But anyway, love all you people. Y'all stay alive. Do not die. Friday night. My email. If you don't know it, then you haven't been following my channel. I stick it over here all the time. So email me, text me if you got my phone number, whatever. Instagram me, and we'll see what we can get set up about having some serious discussions on panels and have a positive effect out there. Okay. Love all y'all. Just tell her, do not die.